Hey, it's Max with Guitar Center. We're here at Winter NAMM 2026, and we are here with Andy Powers talking Taylor, and we've got an all-new next-gen 814 CE right in front of us. Andy, how you doing?
I'm pretty well, man. Pretty well.
All right, so you seem real excited about this one in particular. You're, ever the designer, ever the tinkerer, ever the repair guy, in addition to being a player. Tell us what makes this guitar so special for you.
Okay. The 814 CE is like the quintessential modern Taylor guitar. It's our iconic piece to go. It represents everything that modern acoustic guitar is. And yet for this year, we're creating this model. It looks like its predecessors. Aesthetically, it's a spruce top, Indian rosewood back and sides. It has the details, the appointments of the 814s that came before. But now we've added our new action control neck that we first introduced a year ago, using that to unlock the things that we could also do. So when we came out with the V-class bracing architecture, we initially started talking about that like it was a new platform that enables you to create different kinds of voicings. This is a really good example of that. Because when I have the action control neck to work with and design around, that means I can make all kinds of cool iterations of this bracing to make different sorts of sounds. So this is a guitar that's a V-class guitar, but now with kind of like the warmth and like note blending. Well, there's more low-end resonance. So when you play open position chords, it feels familiar. And yet you have the balance over the whole fretboard and the sustain and the pitch accuracy that we've come to love in a V-class guitar. So I combine those kinds of things, plus this new pickup system that we call the Claria, that's probably the most user-friendly pickup that we've ever put into a guitar. You end up with like really a state-of-the-art piece for us. Go, man, it's the 814 that you know and love, except that it is the most advanced, refined, probably player-centric version that we've ever made.
So let's work backwards on that a little bit. So you just mentioned, I know we're not plugged in, but the new pickup design.
Right.
What makes it more player-friendly?
This is a pickup that we had initially designed for big name players on big stages, because in that environment, you don't really get to tune the environment to suit the needs of the pickup. So we designed a pickup that would fit the environment. And along the way, we realized, a lot of these same factors that you would face on a big stage, you're going to face those same things on a small stage, a coffee shop, an open mic, a club where you don't even get a sound check. You get barely a line check, and then you're off and running. So you need this thing to be as plug and play friendly as possible. So this is a design where you don't see much of it on the guitar. It's hidden. We've eliminated the side-mounted controls, gone with sound hole controls. Real simple, really intuitive, easy to use to dial in a range of sounds, whether you're a fingerstyle player, a strummer. It's going to be a real plug and play friendly kind of system that if you just fumble around with the controls for 30 seconds, you're going to find something you like. It'll work out really well.
So sonically speaking, what is this pickup going to sound like compared to folks that might be more familiar with the ES2 system?
So this pickup, it's a classic under saddle piezo-based pickup. So you'll hear some familiarity in similar to other acoustic guitar pickups, like whether it was a Baggs or a Fishman or something like that. You can dial in those sounds. But in this case, it has a little more variety because there's not conventional bass and treble controls. There's more of like mid-range and voicing shift type controls. So if you want like a brighter, more presence-forward simmer, you can get that pretty easily. But if you want a warmer, deeper, darker, or more of a fingerstyle kind of sound, you can simply roll the control a different direction and you'll achieve that real quick.
So it's doing the work for you. You're not having to kind of get in there and tweak it until you find that sweet spot, right?
Exactly. This isn't like doing surgery on your sound. This is simply, I plugged it in and I adjusted it till I liked the way it sounded. Now we're off and running.
So, you're talking before that about using this neck in particular and what that opens up for you. A very, very smart pickup designer said to me many years ago, it's all a system. The entire thing is a system. It's all connected. So as an engineer, without getting too technical, like how does that open up more for you? Can you just explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. And your pickup designer friend is right. Everything is a system. Everything affects everything else. So when I have a different method of attaching a neck structure to a body, well, that changes how I'm going to design the body to begin with. So in this case, the action control neck has a long tenon design. So the heel structure is a lot different. It's got a little more stiffness where you have this natural strength of a piece of wood that's a little larger. And when I have that, it means that, well, there's some other coupling things that I can generate, so I can coax a little more from different parts of the top and different parts of the body. So when I do that, it gives me the ability to make like the scalloped V-class bracing system that's inside this guitar, where you have a little more note blending. There's less note separation in the lowest register. When you hit a chord, you hear the harmony behind those notes. And so there's a little more emphasis in that regard kind of throughout the whole register.
Nice. Okay. So, over the years, we've talked about, for you, one of the interesting things, especially when you first started at Taylor, was how do you take these designs from your workshop to mass production? How does an instrument like this, how does that change or develop, or how do you put that all together?
Well, some projects move quickly and some move slowly. And so in this guitar, like the scalloped V-class voicing was something that I had started working with a number of years ago, but without the rest of the instrument being the way that it needed to be. It's like, well, I got to shelve that idea. So that one's just going to wait there. This neck design, I worked on for almost 10 years before we got to introduce it. And I will admit that the first few that I worked out, I ended up building a functional guitar. I go, well, this works pretty good, but we can't manufacture this way. This isn't going to work. It's not going to be reliable enough. Okay, so I got to throw this one away and start again. And so you have to work through some of those ideas until it can be refined into the just right kind of like Goldilocks zone to go, this is hard to make, but we can do it. And it's going to be reliable. It's going to be accurate. It's going to give us the result that we want time and time again, so that the guitar can do a great job serving players no matter where in the world they are.
Yeah, and that's the hallmark. I walk around the Taylor factory. It's this incredible craftsmanship, this craft work, side by side with so much incredible automation. And no disrespect to any other builders, I've just never seen it quite like that anywhere else. So, kind of, I think to that point, how do you go from a craftsman's room to that environment? And you perfectly illustrated what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can make the guitar with chisels and hand planes and all that, and that's how I build our prototypes. But then we have to work steadily through that so that there's not a Monday morning guitar and a Friday afternoon guitar. Right. They're all really good quality instruments.
Okay, the all important question: we've got the guitar here. Can we get it elsewhere now?
Sure. Absolutely. You can go check it out at Guitarcenter locations all around, give it a play, see how it fits for you.
Well, Andy, thank you so much. Kind of took my line there. So we'll reiterate that. If you want to learn more about the all-new next-gen 814 CE, you can head to guitarcenter.com, frankly, for all things Taylor. And if you want to learn more about all the latest new from NAMM, stay tuned to our YouTube channel.